A city skyline, serene before the storm. Unbeknownst to its inhabitants, doom approaches. A sudden tremor rocks the city. Buildings sway, alarms blare, panic erupts, cracks spiderweb across the streets. People scream and run in every direction. A massive tsunami crashes into the coastline. Waves engulf buildings, cars are swept away. The sky turns a horrifying crimson. People point and gasp, fear etched on their faces. A family huddles together, seeking comfort in each other's arms amidst the chaos. A mother clutches her child tightly, tears streaming down her face. A father tries to shield his family from the falling debris. The bonds of society fray. Looting and violence break out in the streets. A lone figure kneels in prayer, seeking divine intervention. Whispers of ancient prophecies spread like wildfire. The end is nigh, some say. A group of survivors gathers, their faces grim, their eyes filled with determination. They share stories of loved ones lost, their voices trembling with grief. A map is unfurled, a destination marked, a place of answers, if it exists. They pack meager supplies, food, water, weapons, and hope. The group sets out on their perilous journey, leaving the ravaged city behind. The landscape is scarred and broken. The earth groans under the weight of destruction. They navigate through collapsed buildings and overturned vehicles. The air is thick with dust and smoke, making it hard to breathe. They encounter other survivors, some friendly, some hostile. A tense standoff ensues, weapons drawn, trust non-existent. They share what little they have, a fragile truce formed in the face of adversity. They press onward, their determination fueled by the need to understand. They find a hidden cave, a temporary shelter from the horrors outside. Inside, they discover ancient carvings on the walls, hinting at the cataclysm's origin. The carvings depict celestial events, cosmic alignments, and forgotten gods. They decipher the symbols, piecing together the puzzle of their impending doom. The truth is terrifying. The cataclysm is not random, it is a cosmic event. They learn of a convergence of celestial forces, a threat to the entire universe. Hope dwindles, replaced by a sense of overwhelming dread. But they refuse to give up. They must find a way to stop the apocalypse. They emerge from the cave, their resolve strengthened by their newfound knowledge. The landscape has changed. Mountains have collapsed, oceans have boiled. They witness the disintegration of forests, the very fabric of reality tearing apart. Glimpses of otherworldly dimensions flicker in the sky, a terrifying spectacle. They find a ruined library, its shelves filled with crumbling books. They search for answers, their fingers tracing the faded words. They discover cryptic texts and forgotten lore, hinting at humanity's role. The texts speak of a hidden power, a force that can either save or destroy the world. They realize that the cataclysm is not an external force, but a reflection of humanity. Humanity's destructive nature has unleashed this cosmic event. They face a moral dilemma. Can they overcome their own darkness to save the universe? They argue and debate, their voices filled with despair and anger. One survivor suggests sacrificing themselves to appease the cosmic forces. Another argues that they must fight, that surrender is not an option. The group is divided, their bonds strained by the weight of their decision. They continue their journey, their hearts heavy with doubt and uncertainty. They encounter monstrous creatures, twisted by the cosmic event. They fight for their lives, their weapons barely effective against the horrors. They navigate treacherous landscapes, dodging falling debris and collapsing structures. Their resolve is tested at every turn, their bodies and minds pushed to their limits. They approach their destination, the epicenter of the cosmic event. The air crackles with energy, the ground trembles beneath their feet. They see a swirling vortex of light and darkness, a gateway to another dimension. They know that this is their final stand, their last chance to save the universe. They prepare for the climactic confrontation, their faces etched with determination. They must choose between sacrificing themselves or succumbing to the darkness. The fate of the universe rests in their hands, a burden they must bear. They take a deep breath, steel their nerves, and step into the unknown. The end begins. The survivors pressed on, leaving the ravaged city behind. The crimson sky cast long, ominous shadows. They walked among the ruins of a forgotten world, a graveyard of broken dreams. A once proud skyscraper lay shattered, a monument to humanity's hubris. Sarah pointed to a distant mountain range, now split asunder. "We need to reach higher ground," she said, her voice hoarse. The air grew thick with the stench of sulfur and decay. They passed a boiling ocean, its surface churning with unnatural heat. Giant fissures snaked across the earth, revealing molten rock below. Mark stumbled upon a crumbling library, its books turned to ash. He brushed the dust off a single, intact volume, bound in leather. Inside, he found cryptic symbols and forgotten languages. "This could be it," he whispered, his eyes wide with hope. The text spoke of a cosmic convergence, a celestial alignment. It warned of a great devourer, a being of pure entropy. The survivors huddled together, their faces grim. "What does it mean?" Emily asked, her voice trembling. "It means we're not just facing a natural disaster," Mark replied. "We're facing something far more ancient, far more powerful." Suddenly, the ground began to tremble violently. A monstrous creature emerged from the depths of the earth. Its eyes glowed with malevolent energy, its jaws dripping with acid. The survivors scattered, desperately seeking cover. David grabbed a rusty pipe, ready to defend himself. "We have to fight," he shouted, his voice filled with defiance. The creature lunged, its claws tearing through the air. Sarah hurled a Molotov cocktail, engulfing the beast in flames. It roared in agony, its flesh sizzling and melting. The survivors pressed their attack, using every weapon they could find. Finally, with a deafening crash, the creature collapsed. They stood panting, their bodies bruised and bloodied. "We survived," Emily gasped, her eyes filled with disbelief. But their victory was short-lived. More creatures emerged. They were surrounded, outnumbered, and outgunned. Mark looked at Sarah, a question in his eyes. "What do we do now?" he asked, his voice barely audible. Sarah took a deep breath, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "We keep fighting," she said, her voice resolute. They pressed onward, their hope dwindling with each step. They found a hidden cave, a sanctuary from the chaos. Inside, they discovered ancient murals depicting the apocalypse. The murals revealed a shocking truth: humanity was to blame. Their greed, their violence, their disregard for nature. It had all led to this, the end of the world. A wave of despair washed over the survivors. "Is there any hope left?" David asked, his voice broken. Sarah looked at them, her eyes filled with determination. "We have to believe there is," she said. "Even in the face of oblivion, we have to keep fighting." They rested, preparing for the final leg of their journey. The weight of the world rested on their shoulders. They knew the odds were stacked against them, but they refused to give up. They would see it through. They emerged from the cave, ready to face their destiny. The crimson sky seemed to mock their efforts. The ravaged landscape stretched before them, endless and unforgiving. They pressed on, towards the epicenter of the cosmic event. They knew that their choices would determine the fate of the universe. They would not falter. They would not break. They would fight until their last breath. They would become the heroes the world needed. The survivors pressed on, the cryptic text their only guide through the ruined world. Twisted landscapes stretched before them, a testament to the cosmic event's power. They walked towards the epicenter, a place of unimaginable destruction and energy. Anya clutched the ancient lore, her face grim with understanding and fear. Liam, the former soldier, checked his weapon, his eyes scanning the horizon. Maria, the doctor, tended to a wound, her hope dwindling with each passing day. They encountered monstrous creatures, warped by the cosmic energy, guarding the path. A hulking beast, with eyes of fire charged, its roar shaking the ground. Liam fired his rifle, the bullets tearing through the creature's hide. Anya chanted an ancient verse, weakening the beast's unnatural strength. Maria used her medical skills to create a distraction, buying them time. After a grueling battle, the creature fell, its body dissolving into ash. They continued their journey, their bodies weary, but their spirits unbroken. The landscape grew more bizarre, the air thick with an otherworldly energy. They saw visions of the past, glimpses of a world before the cataclysm. Anya realized the texts spoke of humanity's role in the unfolding apocalypse. Humanity's destructive nature had opened the door to this cosmic horror. They approached the epicenter, a swirling vortex of energy and chaos. A voice echoed in their minds, promising power and salvation. It tempted them to embrace the darkness, to become gods in the new world. Liam resisted, his loyalty to humanity outweighing the lure of power. Maria saw the suffering the darkness would bring, and refused to yield. Anya understood the sacrifice needed, the price of saving the universe. They discovered a hidden chamber, a device capable of sealing the vortex. But it required a sacrifice, a willing soul to merge with the machine. Anya volunteered, her eyes filled with determination and acceptance. Liam protested, unwilling to lose another friend to this nightmare. Maria pleaded with her, searching for another way, any other option. Anya smiled sadly, knowing this was the only path to redemption. She activated the device, the chamber filling with blinding light. The vortex pulsed, its energy struggling against the machine's power. Anya's body began to dissolve, her essence merging with the device. She whispered a final message, a plea for humanity to learn from its mistakes. The vortex shuddered, its power waning as the device sealed it shut. The light faded, leaving Liam and Maria in the silent chamber. The cosmic event was contained, the universe spared from total annihilation, but at a great cost, the sacrifice of a selfless soul. Liam and Maria emerged from the chamber, the world still scarred but alive. They carried Anya's message, a warning and a beacon of hope. They vowed to rebuild, to create a world worthy of her sacrifice. The sky slowly cleared, the crimson fading into a pale blue. The earthquake subsided, the tsunamis receded, the chaos diminished. Life began to return, slowly and tentatively, to the ravaged lands. Liam and Maria walked on, their journey far from over. They would spread Anya's message, ensuring her sacrifice was not in vain. They would teach the next generation, guiding them towards a brighter future. A future where humanity learned to live in harmony with nature. A future where the mistakes of the past were never repeated. The fragility of existence was a lesson etched in their hearts. The enduring power of hope was the flame that guided their way. They looked towards the horizon, a new dawn breaking on the horizon. A dawn bought with sacrifice, courage, and unwavering belief. The end was not the end, but a new beginning, a chance to rebuild, a chance to create a world where hope could truly flourish. They would remember Anya, her sacrifice a constant reminder. They would honor her memory by building a better world. A world where humanity finally understood its place in the cosmos. A world where the darkness could never again take hold. Their journey continued, their purpose clear, their hope unwavering.